Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing.
It's funny because it's true.
But we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaking! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I am the Gorehound.
I'm Jen.
I'm Cousin Charles.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. Back for the latest edition. How are you guys doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah?
Doing great.
Good to hear.
Ready to talk some Frank.
Yeah. Some Mr. Frankie. Nick is, of course, late as usual, but he will hopefully be joining us within a few minutes, so we will await his arrival. But this week is a three-fer. We are doing Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House of Dracula, and House of Frankenstein. And I don't know about you guys, but I certainly did not watch all of these. How about you? Did you guys?
I watched 2 of the 3.
Okay. And Cuz?
I watched bits and pieces, and then I used Cinemassacre to fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say. I'll be honest. I wasn't gonna say anything until you said it.
Oh, there's no way I could have sat through these. I mean, I ended up falling asleep like 20 minutes before the end of House of Dracula, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was powering through it, and I was like, I can't keep this up. No offense to the movie or anything, but...
Sup, guys?
Hey, buddy.
What?
Look who's tardy to the party.
Sorry, I was busy working, making my monies.
We've already started recording, so... yeah, jump right in. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good.
Cool.
Good.
All
So
right.
where are we at?
We have only been recording for 2 minutes now, so...
Oh, okay, so I haven't missed really much at all.
No, you're good. Why don't you start us off with...
What have you been watching?
I have been watching, some Frankensteins.
Of course.
But beyond that, nothing's immediately jumping to mind. This past week or so has been pretty busy with a wedding, and past couple days I've just been kind of busy running around doing things around the house, so I've not really been having an opportunity to watch much of anything. Even like the shows I regularly watch, my DVR is getting filled. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got nothing.
Who are you when you've done with Nick?
I know, right? Sorry.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
I guess I'm gonna jump on you. I was at that wedding also, and I really didn't watch a whole lot. And
Were you the photographer, or did I make that up?
I was not. I think that was another person on the podcast.
Really?
What? I videotaped it, but I didn't take pictures. Is that what you're talking about, Jen?
Well, I thought, Gorehound, didn't you take their engagement pictures?
Oh yes, the engagement photos, and I believe that is the reason why I was invited, which I am still very grateful.
Love weddings.
Yes, it was a very glorious time. But the few things that I have watched was this I don't know, kind of stupid, kind of unexpectedly weird. So I went on Netflix and I searched their Halloween favorites, and like in the first 5, there's this one called Boys and Trees. I want to make sure I get that name right. It was called Boys and Trees, and it was a Halloween favorite. And I was like, how could this be a Halloween favorite? I've never heard of it before. But it was kind of new, and it was kind of weird. Boys and Trees.
Boys and Trees.
It's a confusing.
They stole the name
shit.
of my rap group.
Yeah. It's confusing as shit, and I'm not even going to get into it. It's weird.
It sounds like a gay porn. Boys and Trees. It really
I was
does.
gonna say.
No. It's more of a...
Gorehound, hashtag confirm for gay.
I'm not going to get into it. What I am going to get into is one of my favorite Halloween movies of all time is Idle Hands. Starring...
Is that the one with the evil hands?
Yes, or the evil hand, singular. I just love this movie so much. It's
who was in that one?
Devon Soya and Jessica Alba, Seth Green, and I forgot the other guy's name.
Whatever happened to is it Devon Sawa or Devon or however you pronounce his name?
I've never been able to pronounce it. Devon Sawa?
Yeah.
You sound confident. I'll take it.
Yeah, he was, like, really hot when he was in Casper, and I was, like, 11.
Oh, yeah, Casper. Yeah.
Oh, he's, like, old now. Oh, he's, like, 39.
Mm.
And Canadian.
Oh,
But-
well, how terrible.
Thank you for understanding.
No, I love this
Hashtag
movie.
racism.
Poor fate to our friends in the north.
And if you guys haven't seen it, I would highly recommend picking it out. I have a copy if you'd like to borrow it. And yeah, besides that, I really haven't even been playing any video games. I've just been trying to watch these Frankenstein movies and, enjoy Halloween. So, Jen, I will hand the mic.
Okay, so since I was not on the podcast last week, but what I did last week that was pop culture was I went and saw Kesha in concert.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about you.
She
How many
came to
times did that
Chicago.
make it?
What?
How many
That was the third time.
Third time?
Third time. I have tried to see her 5 times. Twice she has canceled. I have not had the best luck, but she's coming to the Jingle Ball in December. So anyway, so it was at the Aragon Ballroom, which is always overpacked. Like they were sold out, and I would say the number of people they think fit in the room is actually not the number of people that fit in the room.
Yeah.
So
But-
basically, they sold out and kept selling tickets.
Yeah, something like that. And but it was really great. She was phenomenal. She sang a song with her mom. It was super, super beautiful. There was confetti as far as the eye can see. I had such a great time, and 10 out of 10 would recommend for anyone who is a person. And what else? Oh, and the other thing I've been listening to that I would also recommend for people, anyone who's into true crime podcasts, as I have mentioned.
Oh my
once or
gosh,
1,000
my coworker
times.
was talking about this too. It's like everybody's listening to this bullshit.
The Dirty John, yeah. Dirty John was a podcast put together by, I believe, the LA Times. They just released it like last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. A friend of mine insisted I listen. It was fascinating about this guy who marries this woman very quickly and turns out to be something of a con man. And beyond that, I don't want to give too much away, but I will say they also did, if you're not into podcasts, I guess you'll never hear this, but they also had a print version and some sort of like interactive something. So definitely something people should check out if they're at all interested in crime podcast or just an interesting mystery.
How many episodes are there?
6 episodes, all less than an hour. I banged through it in a day at work.
I'm almost thinking. Gorehound, do you know where I'm going with this?
A podcast about a podcast.
What do you say, guys?
Podcast. Oh man, that's meta.
No, I can't do these true crime ones. Like, I am the god of podcasts. I listen to so many. I cannot do true crime podcasts.
All right. Well, maybe Nick, maybe if you wanna, we'll do a weekend one or something. Because I'll tell you guys, this is interesting, and this is something a lot of people are into right this minute. So.
Yeah, I'm down. Give me some time to listen to the episodes, and I will we'll plan a time to record that one.
If Jen
Perfect, Charles. Let me listen too.
If Jen asks sincerely, I will listen to these.
I'm kind of interested. I have been getting onto a little bit of a true crime kick. I like the sort of mystery of it.
So we will have a Gorehound-less episode in the coming weeks.
I'll
Perfect.
consider it if Jen really wants me on.
Listen, what I'm hearing is, Jen, please beg me to be on this podcast. You know what? If that is what you want, if you want permission to love a podcast, I think, and I will say, again, I'm not going to give anything away. I will say, I think this is a little bit different than a lot of the true crime podcasts I listen to, which I know because I listen to all of them. So it's definitely a little bit different. It's kind of noir inspired, feels kind of 1940s-ish. Like, I can't describe it easily until, of course, we do a podcast about it, in which case I hope I can describe it well.
And to reiterate, you're referring to Dirty John podcast of LA Times.
Dirty John, guys, you got to get on it.
All right.
2 weeks.
Cuz, how about yourself?
All right. Well, kind of go off the true crime thing in the Halloween spirit. I recently finished the new David Fincher show on Netflix, Mindhunters, which is it's very much in the it's based on a true story type of kind of like the FBI's what was it, like the FBI behavioral science division. It's where they've it's based on a book. It's where the term serial killer comes from. And so the show is about like, it's pretty, there are some fictionalized elements that feel very sort of, typical cop drama stuff. There's the young rookie partner and there's the more grizzled guy. But most of it is about them, interviewing these serial killers, and the actual interviews in the show are based on the interviews that, the real, I forget the guy's name,
Housewives?
Was it?
You said the real and I said Housewives?
Of course. Yeah, it's actually, takes the scripts for season 1 and, readapts them. No, but it's a really good show, very well made. Yeah, like I said, me and, Megan binged it in about 2 days. I hope we get to season 2. It's pretty good. The only other thing I can think of that I've been watching, or actually we watched it last night, also on Netflix, was 1922. It's a movie that's based on like a Stephen King short story about
Yeah, I was hearing about that one too.
Yeah. It's about like about a farmer played by Thomas Jane, who it's kind of like a Telltale Heart where he murders his wife, and basically it's about, the trailer kind of sells it as being very supernatural, which there's a light touch of a supernatural element, but most of it's very sort of psychological and very grounded. It's very good. I mean, it's pretty good, but I will say it's good, but not great is the main thing. Although I will say, Thomas Jane, besides being one of the best Punishers of all time, gives the greatest...
Tom Jane.
Is that what it is? What was I saying?
No, I'm quoting Arrested Development when he guest starred. It's like, I'm Tom Jane.
Oh god, I forgot he was in that show. No, but Tom Jane gives probably the best Jim Varney impression I've ever heard throughout the entire movie. So basically, it sounds like Ernest is killing his wife. But no, it's really good. Would not recommend if you have a fear of rats. That's all I'm going to say. So
rats.
But other than that,
I think I have a fear of rats, but I might if I watch a movie where the warning is, don't watch if you have a fear of rats. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of rats. They're not necessarily doing evil rat things, but they're just like, if the sight of a bunch of rats freaks you out, maybe skip a few scenes. But otherwise, it's pretty good. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. I also started playing. I think I had a couple games from my PlayStation account, like with their gold thing. So I started kind of working through a game that came out, I think, last year. I think called Just Cause 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Which is so far it's a pretty, most things are pretty average, most things about the game are pretty average for an open world, shooting mechanics, vehicle mechanics, everything's kind of so-so. The main thing that separates it is the way you get around in the world, where you have this combination of grappling hook, parachute, and then wingsuit. So you can basically Spider-Man your way around the world and sort of just glide from one end of the map to the other. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
But
so why'd you play it? Just cause.
Oh my god.
Full of puns.
I think I'm gonna hang up on you tonight.
Fine, I'll have my own podcast about Frankenstein.
The Frankencast?
Frankencast. Oh man, that would be a good name for a podcast.
Yeah, that would be. I think it would get dry really quick though, if we only talked about Frankenstein movies.
I don't know. There's a lot of Frankenstein movies out there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Speaking of,
are we going to do Man Crush of the Week?
Oh, yes, that is.
It's the whole reason I exist is to hear Man Crush of the Week.
Man Crush.
Leading into our movie, it is a character from our first feature of the night. Can you guys guess?
Is it the Wolfman?
It is not.
Oh.
Is it Boris Karloff?
It is not. It is. I don't know his name, but he was the singing guy who was like, Farrelly, Farrella, Farrelly.
Where they're at the festival?
And it was so great.
That's where they're at the festival, and the movie just immediately stops dead in its tracks.
Yes. This guy, I was reinvigorated as soon as I saw him. I was like, I want to learn this song, and I want to be able to sing like this guy.
Are you gonna play it on your big long whatever that instrument is?
The didgeridoo. Don't dare me. I might pull it out.
That can't be real.
Do it.
Okay. Maybe. All right, just a moment.
Oh, jeez, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, wow, he wasn't kidding.
Haven't done that in a while.
You know, I love it how the didgeridoo was that close to your computer for you to grab it that quickly.
Oh my gosh, dude. It is one of the office essentials. I don't know how you guys don't have one.
I didgeridoo it.
This guy is fantastic, and I don't have a whole much of backstory with him. I probably won't, because I'm probably never going to see this guy again. But the Farrell Lee guy is great.
In many ways, you could argue he's the real hero of the movie.
Without him, the whole movie falls apart.
Exactly. It's that glue that holds the two halves together.
It really, the guy really tied the room together. Frankenstein Month. So, okay, before we jump into our 3 movies tonight, let me ask you guys, who here actually watched all 3 of them? I take that as a no.
Gorehound, do you want to lead that one?
I watched the first one.
Which is fine if you didn't.
Yeah, I watched the first one.
I watched 2 of them.
But I could not find House of Frankenstein anywhere. I did my due diligence, and I just could not find it. But the other 2 I did watch.
Jen, which ones did you watch?
I watched House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula.
Okay, and Cuz, which ones did you watch?
I watched most of House of Dracula and a little bit of House of Frankenstein. Then the rest I sort of just
like YouTube that.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, okay, no, that's fine. That's honestly, with these movies, especially with the House movies, they kind of start to become a little interchangeable, so that's totally fine. There's plenty of stuff we could chat about. So, we've moved away from the solo Frankenstein movies. Like, it's no longer just him. Now we're in, like, Avengers territory, where all the monsters are just teaming up.
Good reference.
Together. Yeah, this is like the original cinematic universe right here. Only without any continuity whatsoever. But, so now we're jumping into all these things. And these movies are, well, what do you guys think? Jen, you go first. I'm curious on your thoughts.
I thought House of Dracula was very boring. Very boring. But I will say I thought House of Frankenstein, a little disjointed. I watched the whole thing and I was like, you know what? Not a bad use of my 76 minutes. Not a bad use of my 76 minutes. I think it was interesting, to see how the monster has become the scientist or what have you, because you have Boris Karloff previously playing Frankenstein's monster, now playing the Frankenstein-esque scientist.
Yeah. The mad criminal scientist out to beg for revenge! As you do. Yeah, okay. Gorehound, I'm going to jump to you next. What did you think of the ones that you had seen?
I also wanted to preface that I did substitute the House of Frankenstein for the Curse of Frankenstein because it sounded very similar. I did this knowingly, but I was just trying to keep in tradition. And since, as I mentioned on the previous podcast, I listened to 3 Hours of Podcast on the Curse of Frankenstein.
Which is a very different movie.
It is. Yeah, that was.
What is it, porn?
No.
Well, let's... if we can go on a side note here, to answer your question, Jen, in the 1950s and 60s, movie production company called Hammer Films created their own line of monster movies, specifically ones with Frankenstein and Dracula. Now, these films were done in bright Technicolor, and one of the hallmarks of them was that they were very violent and very bloody. One of the reasons why they were so popular. And The Curse of Frankenstein is one of those movies. If one were to watch it thinking it was part of the older series, they would be in for quite a surprise. So anyway, continue, Gorehound. Sorry, that was a little bit of an aside.
Yeah, the Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, that was fun. I liked the Wolfman. He was cool. But still, it's not a modern day Wolfman. Like, the transformation was just like, okay.
They had like the fades on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to like American Werewolf in London, where it's like sick transformation. But this one was fun. I liked that it was different than we're not just seeing the same Frankenstein movie over again. It's a different thing, and that guy was just so great in it. So yeah, and then I moved on over to the House of Dracula on YouTube. And did anybody else watch it on YouTube?
That's a link that I used.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you like the Chinese subtitles on the bottom? That was so great. Yeah, this one it was equally as fun. I really question that all of these people are monsters. Like the Hunchback, that's not really a monster, and the Mad Doctor wasn't really a monster. They may be...
He becomes a monster. Yeah. He becomes a monster.
I mean, they certainly murder enough people.
But when you're dealing with the Frankenstein, the monster, Dracula and the Wolfman, I think you're pushing it when you say the Mad Doctor and the Hunchback are monsters.
Oh, are you going off like the movie poster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just threw that in there to make it seem like there's more monsters than there actually were in the movie.
Right.
Because, the Hunchback is not a monster. She's like just an assistant.
Yeah.
So with like a pillowcase shoved in her back.
Yeah, it looked so awful. But I was like, I guess you have to... You're just trying to keep with tradition.
Hey, it was the prettiest Hunchback I've ever seen.
No, Talbot was a fantastic Wolfman, and he is the first time I've seen him in that role.
So, okay, Charlie, what about you? Which ones, what did you think of the ones that you had seen? Or partially saw?
For the parts I saw and the rest I was able to fill in the gaps, I would say, like I said, it's interesting that Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is more kind of a sequel to... Is basically it acts more as a sequel to the Wolfman and not because like I said, it's sort of kind of like when you look at sort of like movie history, it's like the first real big versus movie, King Kong versus Godzilla, Freddy versus Jason type deals, Batman v Superman now, I guess.
They should have called this movie Wolfman v Frankenstein: Dawn of Monsters. And have it be like 4 hours long.
Quick to the DeLorean, and then we have Jesse Eisenberg shove a sweetheart into some guy's mouth. I'm not the only one who imagined that in the movie. That really did happen, right?
It's the best part. Anyway.
So Frankenstein Meet the Wolfman was pretty good. House of Frankenstein actually was, I don't know, there's a part, when I first finished, because I kind of was passing in and out when I was watching it on the TV. Like, I gave myself a refresher. It's kind of a very sort of, it's a weirdly paced movie, because it's like, it does have, it's the first time you got all three monsters there. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. They never meet, really. But the first part with Dracula is just kind of like, sort of just tagged on there and doesn't really do anything for the rest of the movie. Except just to show not Bela Lugosi in action. And it's very kind of, by the end, like, I know they kept making more movies, but, there's almost kind of like alright, this is the end of the era. We're going to kill them off. Dracula, dead. Wolfman, dead. Frankenstein monster, dead. Boris, the mad scientist, dead. So there's kind of a sort of kind of like a big finality, even though a lot of these movies have had sort of like, and then the monster and doctor died, but we didn't see the bodies, so they didn't really die, did they?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because between House of Frankenstein and then the follow-up House of Dracula, outside of like the quick bit where you see Frankenstein holding on to the bones of the mad scientist from House of Frankenstein, like nothing's really explained about like how Dracula and the Wolfman are alive again. I mean, it's just one of those things. They're like, we want to make a new movie, gotta make a new picture. Let's just forget that one happened. We'll just continue on. So it's very kind of strange how, I mean, I guess they didn't care about continuity those days the way people are obsessed over it today, but
that's true.
Yeah, and I think that's great that they really didn't care about continuity and they just kind of rolled with what they wanted to do because, I mean, frankly, continuity can be overrated at sometimes.
Yeah, it could definitely weigh down a movie series.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very...
sorry. But then why do they have the bones at all of the Mad Doctor with Frankenstein? Because otherwise everything else you can accept, okay, doesn't matter, anything before, this is its own thing. Why show the bones then? Unless somebody in the writer's room just simply forgot that detail.
I don't know. It's definitely kind of odd, and especially since how perfectly clean that skeleton was. But, Jen, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I think it's interesting because you go from, as we've been watching these Frankenstein movies, you go from Frankenstein happens, and then you've got the Bride of Frankenstein, and they have this whole scene with Mary Shelley trying to like explain the way that Frankenstein happened, and now they're just like, fuck it, whatever. No, we're here. There's going to be more monsters. Like, don't even worry about it.
She's
like,
continuing the story.
How did Frankenstein come back? He did. Don't worry about it.
You see, there's it's just Mary Shelley continuing the story. Like we've never flashed back, so clearly she's just like rambling on,
going and going and going.
Like she's telling like a Shaggy Dog story and seeing how long she can go before her friends like call her out. Like, you are just making this bullshit up. That would be funny if they actually had like a final film in this series and it ends with a bookend of Mary Shelley just continuing the story. But yeah. I mean, these movies, they're from a different time. They didn't take a lot of stuff as seriously as modern films do, and replay value on DVD and TV and Blu-ray and all of that.
The main thing that I would say about all three of these movies is they really kind of work more as sort of continuations of the Wolfman, even though either in most of the name even though the titles are pointing towards the titles of two of the three films are pointing more towards Frankenstein, but more or less these are pretty much like Wolfman sequels, because I mean the goal of Larry Talbot each and every time is like, I just wanted to end. I want the curse to go away, but he could just get a silver bullet, and then it says
they
like,
didn't know it
Doctor,
they didn't know it at that time, so they had to go through a few decades of horror movies to make it common knowledge.
It's interesting you say that, Charlie, is that they are more Wolfman sequels. What's interesting is the Wolfman of the monster movies, he's one of the main monsters that's never actually had a direct sequel. Frankenstein had a lot of movies, Dracula had a lot of movies, even The Creature from the Black Lagoon had a couple of films, but Wolfman had like one movie before they went straight into the team-up films.
Because the son of the Wolfman would have just been the Puppy Man.
Get off of this call.
In many ways, it's like the Hulk.
Yeah. You get one movie, and that's it.
Make it count.
And you want to rid yourself of the curse. So
Andre Jr. ain't no Ed Norton.
But he's a Mark Ruffalo, right?
Exactly. So that puppy dog eyes.
Jen, I'd like to come back to a point that you brought up earlier, that you found House of Dracula boring.
Yes.
For me, House of Dracula, I actually kind of like it, though I totally understand your boring critique, because not much happens in the film. And, I mean, it's interesting. Dracula comes, he wants to cure his vampirism, but then he meets a woman, and he's like, screw that, I don't want to be a vampire again. And then he screws with the doctor. I mean, there's like kind of neat things going on, but like, it just takes time to get there. And House of Frankenstein, I feel, is similar in that matter, that these characters are just, like, it's very disjointed. Like, Dracula shows up for reasons and then just dies 10 minutes later.
Right.
The thing that bothers me about the latter two House movies is that these monsters never really interact with one another.
Right. Well, it makes you wonder if they're saving up for some sequel that never came, where they were going to, like, all battle together or team up or fight,
I'm surprised they would have held off on that.
Because, right, I mean, strike while the iron is hot, before World War II, but, like, it was just interesting to kind of see how, again and again, they wanted the story to really be about, the mad scientist as opposed to, like, the monster. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I think you would not see quite as much of that today.
Right. There would not be people holding back. I will say this, in how Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, the finale of the film has the Wolfman and Frankenstein's monster battling it out. And it's pretty awesome, because you're waiting all film for this to happen. And when it does, it really does not disappoint. I'm surprised that none of the monsters really share the screen with one another, let alone Dracula dies midway through in both movies, and the Frankenstein monster doesn't really show up until the very end, and the Wolfman's just kind of, doing Wolfman-y things.
Right. I mean, mostly he seems to be moping.
Yeah, well, as one would. I will say, as a preview for next week, if whoever winds up showing up when we do the Albert and Costello, the monsters have much more interaction in that film. So that's a preview of things to come.
The one thing I did find interesting in House of Dracula is kind of like the whole setup for why, a lot of these monsters meet, which is basically they go to this one doctor who happens to just be like the monster doctor. He's got the hunchback assistant. Dracula's like, Doc, you got to cure me of the vampirism. It's just, and the doctor's totally fine with it. Like he's like,
yeah,
Count Dracula, someone who I just said, they're crazy people or are drinking people's blood.
I don't believe in vampires. Oh, okay, I now believe in vampires.
And Dracula's also like, hey, is it cool if I just chilled down in the basement for a bit? I got some dirt, so it's all good, man.
You know what else is really interesting about these is there's a lot of hunchbacked people.
Yeah. They became like a staple.
I was so intrigued with just how awful her hunchback looked, but at the same time I was like, I want to see more of her. Like, I want to see
she was
her...
a pretty great character.
Yeah. Like let's fast forward to Victor Frankenstein, where they cured the hunchback. And I was like, I want to see her being cured. Frankenstein can do that.
They in all the other movies when they've had a hunchback character, he was always some sort of villain type character. Like he was like in the first Frankenstein, he was the Frankenstein's assistant that kept wanting to torture the monster. Then you had Igor in Son of Frankenstein and Ghost. I think. Oh yeah, and then in the House of Frankenstein there was the hunchback who was a bad guy.
David, I think. It was like something with a D, I thought.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I can't think of his name. Danny Boy. And then you have this one who's like a good character. Like she's just like, I'm just doing my thing and I have a hunchback and the doctor's going to cure me with the magic plants. So did you not like hunchbacks, Jen? Are you
I feel like it's weird we don't have as many as there were back in the day, just running around, being evil, being assistants. Like, I would like a hunchbacked assistant. Where do I get one?
That is racist.
No, I mean, obviously I don't actually. It's just sort of weird how it was such a staple, and I feel like, there's definitely this idea among people who want to see more representation of disabled individuals in movies, that when you have them, they're always playing kind of the bad guy. And as I'm watching these movies, I was like, yeah, that's a fair assessment of the state of hunchbacked people, at least in the 40s.
And now they're going to revive Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Right. They're not going to find love, and they are going to possibly be a murderer. And, it's just sort of interesting to see how that played out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I guess we need to bring more hunchback people back. Start a hashtag campaign.
I will say,
Hollywood.
Have a good hunchback.
Well, yeah, we can have a good hunchback.
Baby got hunchback.
I love it.
And what? I don't think I've ever seen...
That was a quality pun.
I don't think I've ever seen... this is the first female hunchback that I've ever seen in a movie, I think.
You don't get many female hunchbacks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
So...
And she was a nurse.
And she was what?
And she got to be a nurse.
I know. So, score points for progressiveness, House of Dracula.
Yes.
So, what about that Dracula's movie?
I will say, I guess the other sort of elephant in the room with these movies is the fact that, Bela Lugosi is in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, as the monster. Mm-hmm. But then I'm surprised they never brought it back as Dracula for the other two big Dracula movies.
He might have been wanting to distance himself from the role, I would guess. But he does come back as Dracula in Albert and Costello. Costello? Yes, Costello, that's his name.
Elvis Costello.
He does come back in the Albert and Costello film. So, yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring him. I'm guessing he didn't want to do it, or maybe he's like, I'm too good for these movies now. Which I imagine him exactly sounding like. Although they need to bring back Igor. I mean, come on. Gorehound, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they really missed out, but, I mean, she was a adequate replacement. I was very intrigued with her backstory, and honestly, I was wondering, is it a pillow? What is on her back?
What hump?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes she forgot she had it too,
What's weird was, this kept distracting me, was her arms, she's a hunchback, her arms aren't disabled, her arms just kind of were hanging there like dead weights when she walked. I'm like, why is she doing that? That is so weird. But, I don't know. Give her a spin-off.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it.
Hunchback, the movie.
Coming soon.
So, whatever happened to Lady Frankenstein? Bride of Frankenstein?
I don't know. She's gone.
Has she been in any others?
She lives on in merchandising.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was stuck up and thought, monster, you're not good enough for me. You're too ugly. I'm going to get myself a hot guy.
Sure.
That's exactly what happened.
I mean, that's if you translate her screeching. I'm pretty sure Nick's exactly right on the money.
She's like, She did like the snap, the snap Z formation. I don't think so.
The bend and snap.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. She died. They never brought her back.
Let's not say she died.
Well, I mean, Frankenstein came back from the dead 8 to 10 times. I mean, they bring him back in House of Frankenstein, and he's been frozen in the water for several years, and they're just like, all we have to do is massage the skin, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what happens.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just didn't want to deal with her in future installments. Who knows?
Too bad.
But if they ever make that remake, apparently that's what the remake's going to be about.
And I think Angelina Jolie is going to be it, and I'm not excited about that.
Wait, is this real?
Yeah, supposedly
rumor.
It's in a pre-production right now. It's supposed to be the next installment in the new shared universe of Universal monsters that the Mummy started off with.
Did the Mummy start it though?
Well, it was supposed to. Start is a relative term, and they had the Bill Condon, I believe his name is, who directed Beauty and the Beast, was lined up to direct the Bride of Frankenstein, and Jolie was supposed to be the bride. Javier Bardem is playing the monster, and they just recently they had we're postponing the movie. Like, go figure. And so who knows if it'll actually get made, but the premise I've heard is that where Bride of Frankenstein, like the original ended, that's where this movie kind of begins and goes from there.
Oh, so that would give them an excuse to have her in 90% of the movie instead of 10.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically going to be like a Captain America First Avengers situation where, this monster took place way before the current monster stuff.
Oh, I think it's just a complete reboot. Like it's taking place modern day, and it's like it's going to be like, Frankenstein's monster's already around. We just made the bride. Our movie begins, and hijinks ensue.
So it's going to be a third. So basically, they're saying third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Dracula couldn't do it. The Mummy couldn't do it. Let's hope Frankenstein can get this dead horse off the ground.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think with Wonder Woman being as big and popular as it was, there's been a kind of a move in Hollywood, which is ironic given the state of affairs that's currently hitting Hollywood right now. Of more female-led tentpole pictures. I think they were trying to push Bride to be kind of like that, but with the failure of the Mummy, I think Universal sort of let's think about this a little bit more before they proceed.
What sucks is it's always something. As soon as whenever you get a situation like that, like with Wonder Woman, you go we had faith in this movie the whole time. It was going to be a hit. But then the moment but then you go to something like I don't know if this was ever around the Mummy, but I know it's happened with other genre films where it's just the moment it failed, it's clearly it had a girl as the lead. No guy's going to want to see a girl lead their monster movie. And it's a stupid argument through and through, but it happens. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in if we enjoy entertainment. And
why are you such a sexist?
I'm not being sexist. I'm being misogynistic, Pam.
Oh, okay. No, I see what you're saying. There's definitely a lot of throwing under the bus and looking for reasons, which is odd because while a lot of people have applauded Wonder Woman, even within recent years, there's been plenty of blockbuster films that have featured female leads. Say what you will about their quality, but it's definitely raked in the money. Like things like Hunger Games and even things like Twilight have done gangbusters with a female protagonist, and it's interesting. There's still that mentality, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would say so. It's always seemed like a risky bet that finally paid off instead of just make a good movie from the start.
Jen, what do you think? We're just mansplaining here. So
absolutely. Women should lead more movies. I think that if they make a Bride of Frankenstein movie, I think it will do very well. I would not cast Angelina Jolie in it personally.
Thank you.
But, I mean, People like her. I think she could do. I think she could do the kind of the creepy aspects of it. But like,
do people
for
actually like her
instance-
though?
Well, I mean, someone must. They keep putting her in things.
I don't mind her. I mean, I'm not like super fan, but I think she's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, most other actresses are better than her. You would agree?
Maybe, but she has more like star power than say.
She has star
someone else.
power, which
She's
is
got
part
charisma.
of why I think she'd be a weird choice for Bride of Frankenstein, because if they're going to follow the pattern set in these movies, Frankenstein did not do a lot of talking. They did eventually teach him to do some talking, but not a lot of talking. And I think she would not want to play some monosyllabic, person running around. But I think her hair would look good. I think that'd look good.
Yeah, she definitely has the look. Who would you cast as the Bride of Frankenstein?
Oh, I'm so bad at this kind of thing. You know who I would do? The Veronica's mom from Riverdale.
Okay, I can't think of her
think
name,
she
but
would-
I know who you're talking about.
Dude, that
I
show's
think it's
growing on me.
Marigold something.
I'm thinking about watching
Are you
that
watching
show.
it?
No, I
Do
want
it.
to. I've been hearing a lot
I've
about
heard
it,
things.
and there was an Entertainment Weekly article on it. I was like, this may. I'm sure it is interesting. I'm sure I'll get hooked, but not for a few weeks.
Right.
Not to go off topic, even though we totally have been. It's interesting to hear you say that, Gorehound, given that of all the CW shows, Riverdale is probably the most CW-ist.
No,
And,
but
like,
when I think of
you
CW, I think of like G rating, and this seems more adult. Am I wrong?
Riverdale?
Depends on what you mean. I mean, like, I don't know, you would, I remember you trying to watch the Legend show and the Flash, and you're like, it's too CW.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is on par with those shows in terms of content.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe the impression that I'm getting is that these shows are a little bit more adult than.
Hey, do it. Check it out.
I'm considering giving it a shot. Maybe middle of November or something.
I look forward to the Riverdale reviews by the Gorehound.
You can do that.
Oh my god, absolutely.
But
Sucks.
getting back to you, Jen. So you would say the mother from Riverdale. I could see that. She has a kind of exotic look about her that monster makeup I think would enhance.
I think she does a lot with the look, so I think that would be good for her. I'm not great at fan casting things, but that was the first place my mind went. But then I don't know who her corresponding Frankenstein would be. But it's fine. He was probably caught in fire at the end of the movie, so he's toast. It's fine.
I'd be surprised if they didn't have the monster in the movie, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like
No, I'm sure they will, but
they could turn into a crazy rom-com where he's trying to win her affections, but he keeps
I
he
can see
keeps
that.
doing things like he's not quite getting it because he's a monster. Like he tries sending her a Valentine's, but he actually gives her like a bloody heart. And
listen, I would watch the shit out of that.
Sometimes love is a monstrous task.
if you can't
That's
find a
good.
bride, make one. The Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, I like that. Let's get to Hollywood immediately and pitch that.
Oh, okay. And you need a triangle, right? A love triangle. So the Dr. Frankenstein falls in love with the bride, but Dr. Pretorius is in love with Dr. Frankenstein. Oh, crazy hijinks!
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
So, hey,
I'd watch that movie.
Coming back to the Bride of Frankenstein, Famke Janssen, I think would be fantastic because she's already kind of like intense looking, and I think she could really pull it off.
How old is she?
Over 40, because that was my search criteria. Female actresses over 40, because you can't have a young Bride of Frankenstein.
Well, I mean, not that
No.
the age matters. I was just, I always think she's older than she actually is.
Yeah,
I could see that.
yeah.
I could see that. She has a sort of look to her. And Hugh Jackman as the monster.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, that would be awful. Please don't. Please don't give Hollywood any ideas.
So the monster will sing.
Do you think
right?
Hollywood is listening right now?
They
Of
should.
course.
I would
They
totally
listen to
see all the
everything.
movies. Right now, some executives like, I need a movie idea. Let me listen
Yeah.
to this podcast. I'm sure they have something.
And Angelina Jolie is going to set a hitman out for me because I said she wasn't a good actress.
She'll send like one of her 900 adopted children.
With like a prison shiv. Like, are you the Gorehound?
And I'd be like, that I am.
Like, save me, Brad Pitt. So, getting back to the team-up movie, because we've been way off topic here for a while.
Are we on a topic?
I guess in a way. I don't know.
I thought you guys were just calling to say hi.
Oh, we tend to do that, but
we're talking all things Frankenstein.
We're teaming up all of our discussions together.
There you go.
Jen, you had mentioned something earlier because World War II happened, and maybe that might have been a contributing factor on why these movies kind of stopped. You know what would have been like an awesome movie for them to make, for Hollywood to make? Total propaganda piece, but the monsters go to war, and they're fighting like Nazi Germany. So you have like Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman, maybe the Mummy's in there too, and they're like just like, we've got to stop Hitler. And, they go and stop a evil Nazi plot.
It's phenomenal. I cannot think of any reason why that would have failed.
I will say this. If I was in the 40s and they had that, I would buy a shit ton of war bonds.
Buy war bonds or I will suck your blood.
It's like the opening scene of, like, Saving Private Ryan, but, like, they're getting...
dude, they need to make that movie today. Like, that's exactly what they need to do, because they have the army come in, they're storming Normandy, and, the bad guys are going down, the good guys are going down, it doesn't look good. Then all of a sudden a plane comes by, and parachuting out is Frankenstein's monster with, like, 2 Uzis. Or whatever, whatever the 1940s version of the Uzis were, and just, like, blowing Nazis away. And then, like, these 2 Nazi soldiers will be like, oh no, and they have Dracula's accent apparently, like, oh no, there's the Frankenstein's monster, gotta go away. And they're like hiding behind a rock, like, what are we gonna do? And there's a bat that flies by, like, oh look, there's a bat. And then behind the bat transforms into Dracula, and he's like, crushes their skulls. I want to see this movie. This is going to be phenomenal.
Can Dracula be like a karate master? I feel like a judo chop.
Obviously, he would be. Duh. That's even a dumb question to ask.
No, instead of actually, I got one idea to slightly change. Instead of Frankenstein having like 2 Uzis, you'd have 2 flamethrowers, and you'd just be like, "Fire bad for you." So seriously, does anybody know Michael Bay? Is there any way I can reach him? I will fund this movie personally.
Yeah, because then the Mummy's like raps will be like in the form of the American flag.
Yes.
And like, oh, I got it. The Mummy. He'll or she, if they use the current continuity, will like wrap up some soldiers and be like, looks like you're tied up, and then continue running on.
Oh!
Jen, you're suspiciously quiet. I take it you're not amused by any of these ideas.
Oh, I stopped listening. Sorry, I was on Facebook. What's happening?
She says that doesn't sound like an Oscar award winner. I do not care.
I mean, that's also fair.
All right, so let's get back to these the team up films. Do we have any final thoughts about these movies? Charlie, you go first.
Thank you. I would say that a lot of these movies have are really good ideas on paper. Like in terms of how to bring these monsters together. Like, they're not bad setups, but in terms of execution, they're definitely not the films that you kind of want them to be. The closest is definitely Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, because that film at least ends with Frankenstein fighting the Wolfman, which is what everybody wants to see. House of Frankenstein, like I said, has all the right elements: a mad doctor, the Trinity of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. But it never has them all meshed together in a perfect way, and which is a shame, because it's a great way to kind of send sort of Karloff, kind of like ending sort of like his take with Frankenstein, at least at that time. So it's kind of, and then House of Dracula just kind of basically tries to do House of Frankenstein all over again, but not nearly as fun or as interesting.
Gorehound, final thoughts.
I think that these movies are getting more fun. You're introducing more elements to these that are much more intriguing, and we're just changing the story up. We're going to different environments, which really freshen up the story. I mean, both of them I would consider on the same level. I feel like the Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman is a Frankenstein meets Dracula. It has more of a story behind it, whereas the House of Dracula is just kind of like the Avengers, where you're like, let's throw all of them in there, despite, my opinion on the Mad Doctor and the Hunchback actually being a monster. Throw them in there, and you got a movie. And this was very preliminary. Like, it would take us many, many years until we would say, well, let's just throw all the monsters in one movie and throw a whole bunch of money into it, and it's got to be good, right? So, if only they had... Actually, has that ever really been successful? I guess Expendables was one of those where you just throw a whole bunch of people in there, and you get something pretty entertaining. But even then, that movie wasn't that great. But I'm going really off topic at this point.
Yeah, what are you talking about again?
Jen, let's hear it.
You know what? I agree. They're getting more fun. I think they do better when they focus on, when they kind of are telling interesting stories. So I enjoyed watching, young married couple. One of them accidentally gets seduced by, by a vampire. Happens to all of us, young gypsy girl, interesting, believable character. I don't know about that, but definitely, seems to be a person. I think they're doing a better job of incorporating people besides evil scientists. And I think that's what makes it interesting, because the monsters themselves aren't necessarily compelling. Although I will say, I think Wolfman, at least, in his moping, is displaying some sort of interesting character traits, in his human form, as opposed to Frankenstein, who can't really talk, and, so he may have inner desires, but it's a lot harder to have a conversation about them. But so I think they're doing a better job of kind of incorporating the village people, and it's not just that strange woman screaming who was in Frankenstein a couple weeks ago. So I think they're actually, I agree. They're getting more fun. I think they're taking themselves a little less seriously. Mm-hmm. And, I agree that had they kept going with these and kind of had all the monsters team up or fight, I think it could have been, even sillier and even more fun. And one thing we didn't talk about that I just wanted to touch on was that I do think it was, it's been interesting to see old school special effects and how those are sort of trying to develop. It's been pretty delightful. So, I will say I thought the movies this week were, definitely interesting. I mean, not the one that was boring, but the other one I thought was interesting.
Looking forward to the next one.
House of, I think it'll be cool to see where they go with it.
I have no final thoughts other than what everyone else has already said, so I think that might wrap us up for tonight.
Absolutely.
I have no real trivia, sorry.
Oh, I have some trivia, guys.
Oh, okay. Do it.
All right.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. So,
It's trivia time!
For those of you that watched House of Frankenstein, the scene opens with the young married couple, and or the movie opens with a young married couple, and the woman is the grandmother of one very popular actor today. Do you have any idea who is her grandson?
No.
Chris Pratt.
Close. Chris Pine.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew his family came from acting.
She lived to be about 83, died in 2003, and her grandson is Chris Pine. So, the next time you watch Wonder Woman, you got to remember, these people really do come from long lines of acting families.
I'll be thinking of it the entire time I watch Wonder Woman.
Perfect.
The pine doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, look at this guy.
I'm 3 for 3 on the puns.
No, that was great.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it. I don't know, Gorehound. I'm guessing you started. Do you want to take us out?
You know I do. Let's close this bad boy out. I am the Gorehound.
I'm Jen.
I'm Cousin Charles.
And I'm Nick.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. Catch you next week.
You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
Fall asleep to death.
Blog at znculturecast.wordpress.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by Ben Saltwater Production. Copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.